Welcome back. This is now the 5th video in this series, and we are going to quickly talk about the dangers of energy work. Really quick, if you have not yet subscribed or if you're enjoying this video series, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll give you a few seconds here. Subscribed yet? Done? Yeah? Okay, so we are going to talk about the dangers of energy work, and there are some actual dangers that have been documented. Now, again, given that, see, this is one of the reasons why it's so frustrating that there's no research done on this, because if there was, some of this stuff could be like, yeah, this is why this happens, and this is how to avoid that, and we've discovered this and that. So yeah, I come to energy work from a neurological, neuroscientific perspective. I think it's a very fascinating anomaly, but because there has been so little, if any, I've never seen any, and I continue to look. Like I search for just anything that I think that would bring up research topics that may or may not that hopefully have some sort of investigation into the anomaly of energy work and the sensations it creates. And I have not found anything. So if you know of any studies out there that specifically, try to, analyze and figure out what's happening neurologically and physiologically when people do energy work, I would be really interested in seeing that. Again, as always, if you know a neuroscientist or if you are a neuroscientist, get them on this. Get on this. This is not only important, but I believe there is a wealth of neurological, neurophysiological information buried under this concept that we are just, completely missing as a scientific culture because of the stigma behind the word energy work, right? It doesn't mean you're, investigating psi phenomena or anything. It just simply means that, it's just the name that people have given it because people believe it's energy that's moving because that feels like it is. But, yeah, so there are some dangers, both with meditation and energy work, that we here in the Western culture just kind of ignore. Despite all the research we've done on meditation, there has been little to nothing on the dangers of meditation. And energy work, just alongside with meditation, has dangers that have been documented for thousands of years by fairly reliable, like Buddhist documentations and stuff. So let's kind of go over some of these really quick so you can avoid any possibility of anything happening. Let's cover meditation dangers really quickly. With meditation, you don't need to spend all day meditating, okay? Like people that spend 8 hours a day meditating and are just like, their whole life is meditation. Not often, but occasionally they will begin to experience bizarre anomalies like spontaneous psychedelic experiences, right? Hallucinations, auditory, visual, tactile hallucinations, all sorts of hallucinations. In fact, there has been some documentation to suggest that too much meditation can actually induce depression and a variety of psychological issues, from problems ranging from schizophrenia-like, symptoms to, right, depression to anxiety attacks, right? There's been some documentation to suggest that too much meditation can actually induce anxieties. So meditation is a powerful tool, and I mean, hell, right? If it can help get rid of depression, it can probably induce depression if you do it wrong, wouldn't you think? So yeah, and a lot of this stuff with meditation specifically can be avoided by simply not engaging your addictive tendencies towards meditation. Just practice it like you would practice working out, an hour at the most. right? An hour at the most per day. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, and you're pretty solid, right? Even if you did like an hour in the morning, 30 minutes at lunchtime, and an hour at night, that's probably still in the fairly safe zone. But if you're just crunching out 4 hours straight, and you eat, and then another 4 hours, and then you just do that every single day, you're tempting fate. You're playing with fire once you start doing like just really intense meditations every single day, all day long. So that's something to be aware of. If you begin to experience anything like this, I highly suggest that you just stop meditating for a little while. Contact a specialist, a psychologist, somebody that understands these aspects of meditation to help you through it, so you can get back on track, and then just don't engage with it as heavily as you did previously. Okay, with energy work, I kind of found this interesting with a lot of the like Qigong, Tai Chi traditions, like Chinese traditions. When they do these energy workflows, almost every single school warns against doing energy work in your head, in your brain. There are some like Qigong schools of brain Qigong, brain energy work, and it is these people who often have these insane side effects. And like I said, neurologically, we don't know what's happening. It would be nice to have some research done on what exactly is happening. There's some sort of neural feedback, right? There's some sort of something happening because the sensations are very real. But just taking that a step further, let's say that there is some sort of neurological mechanism, right? That's when your mind's focus are directed on some specific area of your body, it causes some sort of neural feedback. Okay, whether that's the case or whether it's something you are inducing in your mind itself, focusing on your brain area and quote unquote pushing energy around and through your brain, probably not the greatest idea, right? I mean, it would logically follow that if you are causing like some sort of kickback feedback, like neurological feedback, some sort of signal kicking back after focusing on an area, that if you start moving that focus into your brain, that there may be some mechanism that is kicking things back and around inside your brain. And if it's just the case that it's all inside your mind, right? If it's not some sort of neurophysiological feedback mechanism that causes these sensations, if it's something within your mind, right? If your mind is creating the sensation itself, then it obviously knows that what part of your body you're thinking of to create that sensation is a kickback in a way that you can actually feel it, right? Well, it would be kind of logically, it would be a fairly logical leap, even though you don't have any, sense nerves in your brain area, that it's possible that if you start pushing, I don't even want to like pretend like I am, because I kind of start doing it, even if I'm pretending, right? But if you start pushing energy around in your brain area, that it may actually be firing synapses off in little random weird places that you're kind of focused on in that area. And that can't be great if you don't know what you're doing, right? So like, brain Qigong practitioners apparently have this whole map of the brain, and they know all these like centers and how to activate them and all this stuff. I don't know about that, but what I do know is it's been around for thousands of years, and so I would assume that they kind of know what they're doing, right? And on top of that, the documentation of negative side effects from pushing energy through your head, or from causing, right, these neural feedback bursts to happen inside of the skull, has a history of people becoming deeply schizophrenic and having being like cursed with insane hallucinations and fevers and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, you've got your pituitary gland up there, and your oh my gosh, name's escaping me right now. But your brain controls a lot, and it's just both not necessary to try to cause these sensations to ricochet back and forth in your own skull, and the thousands of years of Buddhist and like Hindu documentation warn against it. They just say don't do it because it appears that when people mess around with their brain in this manner, these sort of side effects occur, and they're not like, they don't sound great, man. I've read some pretty crazy stuff of people that what happened to that guy, dude? I can't remember. This is like not ancient stuff. This is something that's like somewhat recent. I can't remember exactly the details, but I want to say his member just started like leaking semen. He got fevers and chills or something like that. I think it like feverish, and he was just like hallucinating and being crazy, and because he had just been just pushing it through his own mind. I don't know what the correlation is. I don't know what the causal mechanism is. But I know that it's just not, just don't mess with it. There's thousands of years of documented bad stuff that happens when you do that. And why tempt fate? Why end up with, a dripping, member with, hallucinations and pent up in your bed with shivers and sickness and something that traditional medicine has no idea how to fix. And you have to go find somebody to help you work your way back out of it. Like somebody that knows brain qigong or knows how, can direct you back out of it. Well, why even mess with that? Man, I wish somebody would just start doing research on this, like for real legitimate scientific research to find out what is happening neurologically, because like this kind of stuff, we would know more about whether or not it actually is something that happens, whether or not it's related, whether or not it's just like what's the word? Self-inflicted psychological. What on earth is that word? Psycho. Wow. Give me 1 second. Let's find out really quick. A sickness induced simply by somebody thinking of it. Psychogenic illness. That's not the word I'm thinking of though. Something like that though. Psychosomatic. Oh my gosh. That was on the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't get it out. Okay. Psychosomatic sort of thing. We don't know. And we don't know because there's no research on it, which is just so utterly completely lame, because the only reason there's no research on it, and we have billions of papers and studies performed on meditation, is because of the stigma around the concept of energy work. And it's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. I don't know why we allow ourselves to just like, whatever. Anyway. Okay, so that's the warning. Don't push energy through your head, and don't meditate for, don't plan egregiously long meditation sessions for weeks and days and months on end, because it's going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. It's not going to help cure your depression. It's going to make it worse. It's not going to help cure your anxiety. It's going to make it worse. All right. It's just, there goes the dogs upstairs. Yappity yapping. Okay. So that is the end of this video series. If you have not yet, or of this video, if you have not yet subscribed, kindly please do that now if you enjoy the information you're getting here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.